Live right now.
I got my new coffee cup.
Hey everyone. We got Vivian and Sharon Sipe in the room. Welcome.
Welcome, Vivian and Sharon. Nice to see you both.
Yes.
I've shown off my new cup.
Hello to everybody else in the room. Ooh, that's cute.
On the inside of the cup, it says, "Life is a hoot."
Hold on one second. I'm going to do a banner on the bottom.
Yeah, I tried to post a banner the other day, and mine didn't go up. I don't know what I did wrong.
I should have done this before we went live.
I just got your notice.
Yeah. Well, hello to everybody else in the room. I'm only seeing Linda Sandoval. Hello.
Hi, Linda. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. All is well, I hope. Hey, Sherry. Now, Kevin and I were asking the other day. We couldn't remember. Did we read for you, Sherry, about you moving, and we told you yes, you were going to be moving, and you have?
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's wait for her to respond. In the meantime, hi Nancy, hi Chris, hi Stacy Star.
Oh, we got some people coming in now. Hello, everyone.
Is Nancy new? I haven't seen her name before.
I've seen Nancy before.
Oh, well, Nancy, you need to come over and subscribe to my channel, too. It's Kathy's Guided Light Tarot. Kevin and I do a Sunday program together on my channel with Sharon Lee. Hi, Lauren.
Right. There. I just did the banner. Sorry, it took me a minute. All right.
Oh, yes. We'll send prayers out to your son, Linda.
No, I'm sorry, Linda. Yes.
Yes,
sending him some in my prayer loving, list. Healing energy, white light. Oh, yes, it was her. She loves her new place. I remember saying that.
Yeah, we thought we did.
The car's coming, Sherry. I know it's a little bit later than probably what you'd like, but it will be here and you'll be very happy with it. It'll be very reliable.
You get a good deal on it, too, considering the prices of cars are up right now.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you're going to get a good deal on it.
Well, I want to give a quick shout out to Allie from Heart and Soul Connection. If anybody missed that, I was on her channel earlier today, and I really had a fun time telling a little bit about myself, and I really enjoyed all the spiritual and metaphysical questions people were asking. So I'm taking a break from the personal, so today we're not doing any personal readings, but we're going to keep it political, world events. If you want to do more spiritual or metaphysical questions, I really enjoyed that earlier, so we can do that. Just need a little bit of break from the personal. Didn't have the best experience not that long ago, so I'm going to keep it at that.
We do want to put a disclaimer out. If you put a question up, we pull our questions from StreamYard, which is a separate, it feeds back to our StreamYard. If you withdraw your question, it doesn't remove it from our StreamYard where we're pulling the questions. So if we pull your question up and you actually don't want us to read, immediately say something so we will not read it.
Yeah.
Because we're not monitoring the YouTube on a constant basis. So if you withdraw from YouTube, it doesn't go off our StreamYard. Anything you delete on YouTube doesn't delete off our StreamYard. We can read everything. And there's about a minute to a 2-minute delay depending on how many people are in the room and how much chat is going on. So that's why we'll be waiting for a response. And that's why we usually open both programs.
Yeah, I have it on my phone too, just so I can.
Yeah, I can't read it off my phone. It's too small. I have it expanded on my my laptop. That's why I'm always looking this way. This is my my computers are sitting next to
Nancy
me.
already subscribed to you, Kathy.
Oh, okay. I just hadn't seen the name, but I don't. I have visual problems, so I don't always catch the names once I'm in a reading mode. Hey, Debo.
Okay. But yeah, if you missed that little collab that I did with Allie from Heart and Soul Connection, I thought it went really well, and there was a lot of information on like spiritual and metaphysical questions. So make sure to check that out and subscribe to her channel if you're not already, because I really enjoyed working with her. Hey, Stone Marble.
Hey, Stone Marble. How are you doing today?
Stone Marble is such a good moderator. I really appreciate all that she does for my channel.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, so nope. What I'm going to do is you can send your questions. I'm trying to do it a little bit differently. Thank you, Lauren. I'm trying to do it a little bit differently. I'm trying to stay connected to the chat and you know, I want to keep up with it and not get far behind looking for questions. So if I miss your question or if there's something you want us to read on, please resend it. Please write your questions in all caps. And I think, you know, an emoji to catch your attention is good. And yeah, if
really
we're not seeing your question and you want to answer
something in front of it,
yeah, just keep sending it. So,
and we ask. I was having a lot of problems with this. I love that everybody's saying hello, but could you keep your hellos to sort of like 4 or 5 people at a time, or a big blanket hello? I know we all know each other, but I had somebody in the chat was saying hello to each individual person that was coming into the room.
Hi, Ron.
And yeah, Ron. Didn't want to call him out, but everybody knows Ron.
I was saying hello to him.
But I counted him. I went back and counted. He said over 50 direct hellos, and people were trying to get questions in, and I was going like down 10 before I could find the next question, and it was making it really difficult. Ron, I hope you heard that. Please don't say individual hellos. Hello to everybody, and
I'm okay with it when we first come on, like.
Yeah, but when we're in the middle of the readings, it gets really difficult when we're searching for the next question when we have to scroll down through 25 individual hellos. So just as a courtesy, please.
All right. Well, I have a couple submitted. It's okay, Stone Marble. Like I said, as we're opening up and stuff like that, but Kathy doesn't have the best eyesight to pick questions, and so it's hard for her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to think
one eye. I'm partially blind in one eye is what makes it difficult for me. And you know, it's one of those hidden disabilities.
But no, I am I'm okay with it at the beginning, and for me, it's not too bad for me. But I do get what you're saying too. It's hard, and sometimes.
Well, and if
I get where you're coming from that.
Yeah, and if we're waiting for somebody to respond, and it's hello, 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 hello.
There's just a lot of love in the community.
Yeah, and please chat amongst yourself, because we do try to read as much of the chat as we can and keep up with it, because it's a great community and such a supportive community. And we don't want to hamper any of that at all. It's just that sometimes it can make it difficult when there's a lot of repetitious, just one-liners with a lot of icons around it, and we're looking for icons to pull questions. So
yeah,
it's a visual thing for me, honestly. It's just really
I know it bothers you. I know that you're not like trying to call anybody out or.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to call anybody out.
Hi, Silver.
Hi, Silver.
I saw Linda's, I don't know if it was a question or comment, but that's definitely something that we can look into. I think I got about 4 questions submitted ahead of time. So
Okay.
While we're waiting for some questions to come in, I can pull those.
Then it said I had massive downloads of political and variant and the variant and Ghislaine Maxwell. I've been getting tons and tons of downloads too.
I try not to focus on her energy so much, but I do think
Ghislaine, I don't
going to jail. She's in a lot of trouble.
That. Yeah, I think she's gonna try to minimize that. Oh, I was just taking care of the girls and giving them.
I don't think that's gonna be a good defense for her. I don't see it working out.
Yeah,
it's hard, Sherry. She's like, the last few times she's done a reading, she's like, I don't know how you keep up with the chat. She's like, I had to give up on it. That's why I'm saying, if I miss your question, please just submit it. Yeah. Keep trying to submit it, because I like to stay on top of things, what's going on in the chat, and then when I have to look on my phone and keep it current, and then scroll all the way up and get behind.
What I usually do when we start is I go all the way to the beginning, because it drops everything off StreamYard a lot faster than YouTube. So I'll lock my screen at the top and I'll scroll down as slow as I can.
Yeah,
and right. Because I can't scroll super fast because not everybody's putting icons around it. I try not to miss questions, and that's when the repetitive hellos get in my way. So.
All right. So our first question.
I love you all, and yes, talk to each other and address each other.
Nancy wants to know, how much longer will Mitch McConnell be in office? I feel he's
leaving.
I'm feeling 2023. I'm feeling 2023.
It'll be after the midterms, I'm feeling, and
beginning of the year though.
He's going to claim a health issue, but mostly it's because he's no longer in power and he doesn't even have a lot of pull in what's left of the Republican Party in the Senate, because there's not going to be enough to. We're going to have enough of the majority that even with him pulling them all his direction, he's not going to have that chokehold that he likes. It's
after
not
the midterms too. The Republican Party is going to split.
Yeah. They're going to lose. I think they're going to lose better than 30% of the seats.
I don't know if I feel that strongly, but I do see a lot of gains in the Senate.
Well, I see some of the major players losing their Senate seats. The Dirty Dozen that were involved with the 1-6, several of them, about half of them, are going to jail in the next year. And they're going to be caught up in the 1-6 committee subpoenas coming to. I think that the 1-6 committee has that strategically planned to get them subpoenaed just before midterms.
Well, I think sadly, even if
it's going to take that long.
Yeah, I think sadly too. I definitely see some senators and people in Congress being arrested, but I think most of them are in Republican safe districts and states where if they do get, they're going to have another Republican.
But they've a number of the states have rigged the county lines to
the gerrymandering
in their favor, but they're even going to still lose votes when they get subpoenaed and testimony starts coming forward, because they're not going to keep all of that under closed doors purposefully.
I agree with you. I think, I'm not sure if for entertainment purposes only, I don't see Mitch's life force is really strong. So I'm not feeling like he has a whole lot left time on this planet. But I would not be surprised if he steps down because of health concerns.
Yeah, he has a lot of problems with residual issues from having polio as a child. And he has very bad circulation problems. I always feel circulation problems around him. And if you look at him, his lips half the time are blue.
Yeah, he has really poor circulation.
He has got very, very poor circulation, which means he also has a heart issue or a vascular issue going on, getting blood flow going around. I just don't see him in office more than a year out after midterms.
I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it's going to be shortly
Yeah, I
after.
think it's going to be short. It's going to be shortly.
It's going to be like
It's
spring of
between midterms
2023.
and the 2023 change of year. It's just too tough. And as things come down on his wife, he's going to get tied up in that net too.
Yeah.
His hands are not clean. So for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. His hands are very dirty.
Yeah. And I think too, like I was saying, when the after the midterms, a lot of Republicans are gonna get off the Trump train because they're gonna see that Trump is a political loser, being the head of their party, and then you're gonna have the diehards, you know, all of the conspiracy theorists. So right after midterms, we're literally gonna see the Republican Party split in half,
Yeah. I don't see.
and Mitch will lose his power. I would actually, before he leaves, I think that they're going to try to get him out of the minority leader position.
I watched an interview with the Georgia, the man that Trump called in Georgia, and the part of the tape they didn't play publicly was him giving Trump the numbers. There was like 200 or 20,000 Republican registered voters that did not vote, cast a ballot for either candidate as presidents, but they did vote straight line Republican and all other items on the ballot. They just did not vote for a presidential candidate, which is telling you what, I'm a hardcore Republican. I only do straight party line voting. And I didn't like either candidate, and I'm certainly going to not vote for Biden, but I'm not going to cast a ballot for Trump either because I don't want him as president. So no vote is a vote for Biden in that case. And he was told the numbers were around 20,000 non-voting Republicans in the presidential portion of the election. So maybe that's where he wanted them to find those 11,000 votes, is to go pick some of the ballots. But they can't do that. They won't do that. But that's part of the reason why he lost Georgia is there was a large number of people that just did not vote in the presidential race by choice. So
I didn't hear about that, Jessica. That breaks my heart.
What did she say?
She said that there was another school shooting today.
Oh yeah, Sterling reported on that a couple weeks ago. Somebody wants to sell me something.
Well, I'm going to send white light and love to everybody affected.
Where was the school shooting at, may I ask?
Yeah, I didn't hear about it, but I haven't been watching the news today. To Michigan. So sad. 3 killed, 6 injured.
What you're sorry about, Stone Marble.
Well, I think where did she apologize? I think she was apologizing about saying hello.
Oh no, you can say hello, just don't say hello to each individual. That's all I'm asking. Just see several friends, go, oh hi Linda, Stacy, Chris. That's easier than each one-liner for each person individually. Cluster them so that they're little bigger entries.
Well, let's all send some white light and healing love energy to.
I'm sorry, I have to turn my ringer off. This is just. Everybody wants to sell me something.
Let's all just take a minute and ground ourselves and send all of that unconditional love and white light to all of their families and everybody impacted in that school shooting. It's very sad. So.
Did we get a location?
It was Michigan.
Oh, in Michigan.
And I guess 3 were killed and 6 were injured. So. Jessica, unfortunately, I do eventually see some restrictions coming in for like AK 47s and a lot of those. I feel like it's going to be more into 2023, 2024. It's a couple years off, but
Yeah, it'll
yeah.
definitely be after the turn of the Senate and stuff, and they don't have so much power tied up with the NRA. And the NRA is going to be weakened by lawsuits in New York still that are pending. I just don't know why people need AK-47 and that kind of, you can't use them.
Don't.
You can't use them for hunting. What are you gonna do? Blast your deer apart? I hunt, I shoot, all that, but we have no massive automatic weapons.
Well, I'm all for
hunting guns, and that's what we use them for. That and skeet shooting. Nothing's wrong with having guns, but we don't need this massive.
We don't need militarized guns.
No.
I mean, I'm all for shooting if you're hunting to feed yourself and your family, or if you enjoy doing that, or like for sport.
I don't believe in sports
or protection, but no, you don't need a military gun for protection. I don't. They will get something done to help with that. I mean, it's very sad.
And I think they'll put big fines on altering guns to shoot automatically, and they will do a reduction in the size of clips that can be carried with specific types of guns. I do think they will have some restrictions. They're not going to just go knocking on the doors and taking everybody's guns, which is the way the Republicans like to sell it. That's not going to ever happen. But they are going to restrict the amount of lethal arsenals that people own. We don't need war weaponry in our house.
Oh, Vivian said Dr. Oz announced PA Senate run. I don't see anything about that. I think it's for Republicans.
A lot of votes, but I don't see him winning.
No, I don't see him winning. I don't even know I don't think he might not even be on the ticket.
Yeah, he may drop out. I heard in Texas that McConaughey has dropped out of the race. He decided he's not going to run.
Well, he kept it open and said he wasn't going to do it right this moment, but he wouldn't have won even if he did decide to run.
But I'm going to throw it out there. I have always seen Beto as a senator. I've never seen him as governor.
I've said that too.
I've always seen him as a senator. Now, if he does go into the governor's office, he's not staying. He will be on the next.
There's too much cheating going on.
Ted Cruz is going to end up losing his seat. I can tell you that right now. And he's not up for re-election until 2024. And when those seats open, Beto wants to step through the Senate before he shoots for presidency again. So governor, Senate, that I could see him doing, but I've never seen him as governor. I've always seen him as a senator.
Yeah, I think there's too much cheating going on in Texas. Really, in the last presidential election, I clearly saw Texas should have went blue. So there was a lot of cheating to keep it. So
and Beto should have been the senator. There was so much cheating that Ted Cruz stole that race.
Yes.
I mean, people were coming out of the ballot boxes going, I watched my vote change. And they couldn't go back and fix it. The machine wouldn't let them go back and change it, which is wrong too, because if you see something wrong in your ballot, you should be able to correct it. But
no, I never saw Beto as governor. I do see him being a senator, and I also feel in the future he will be in a cabinet position and may have a really good run for president. In 10, 20 years. But
Biden will be reelected as president, but I'm only seeing him doing 2 years in a second term. And then Kamala Harris is going to take over. And he's going to go out for health reasons, but it's not because he's dying. It's just that I think he's going to hit that point of exhaustion. And she is going to keep his agenda going as he wanted it done. and that will get her the win for the following election. And that's when her agenda will go into effect. There will be a huge agenda change. She'll keep it running the Democratic way, but she'll start changing a lot of laws
She'll
in
be more
regards
progressive
to
than Biden.
crime and things like that. She'll really take a big stance on criminal law in her term. I think she'll be very effective. She's going to piss a few people off, especially on the Republican side, but majority rules. And I see Pete Buttigieg is either being
He'll be
offered
your vice president.
Secretary of State or Vice President, and I
He'll be
see
your
him
vice
equally in
president.
both positions. And he is an extremely brilliant man. He is multilingual. He is a
Hi,
Rhodes
Sheila.
Scholar, and he would be an excellent representative of state, but he'd also be an excellent vice president.
You know what? It's funny when you said that because I never saw him as Secretary of State, but I definitely saw him on Kamala's ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely felt VP for a while. I think I've said that.
Yeah.
But when you said Secretary of State, what I think might happen is I think he might become that under Biden's second term.
Yeah, he may be moved over by his second term.
That resonated
He's
with
a
me.
real asset. And what I think what Biden's doing is he's giving him a breadth of overall experience in the nation. So I've always felt like he's going to end up a Secretary of State position. I also see Stacey Abrams coming in with flying colors, but I still see her running through the Senate too. I think she'll go governor of Georgia.
She'll be governor.
Senate.
Yeah.
She'll do one term as governor of Georgia, then she may even run in the middle of her term as Georgia government for a Senate seat and step down as governor and take a Senate seat because she wants that overall breadth of experience, and she is a bombshell. She has fate, the wheel of fortune on her favor. She has a political career. She's going all the way, and I see her someday as being president. So
I haven't gotten that hit personally. I do have a strong feeling that
she is going all the way.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just haven't seen that yet. I definitely see she gets people out to vote, and I think that's where she's strongest and where she's best.
She's going to ladder herself up in experience. She's going to get as much experience in anything and everything she can. I could see her even moving from the Senate into cabinet seats.
Pete Buttigieg, I wouldn't be surprised if he's president too. But when he becomes president, I think that's maybe 20 years out.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it's not a Pete Stacey Abrams ticket.
No, that's interesting.
When he goes, if she doesn't shoot for presidency, or even if she competes against him, whoever wins the ticket, I think they'll pull their weight together. They're both very strong candidates.
Yeah.
And politically strong, and they represent everything our country needs to be represented.
My guides have shared with me that it's crucial in this time period right now that we have Democrats in office, and I do see Democrats at least holding the presidency and part of the other chambers for the next 10, 12 years because the Earth, we can't afford to, the Earth needs that kind of leadership in. So, and then that's why I've always seen too, I know a lot of people are nervous about midterms, but I see us gaining seats. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens and a lot of things with this January 6th commission that really brings people out to vote because they know that they have to.
Don't assume that the tickets are strong so you don't have to bother. You have to get out and vote.
Yeah. But the way that the energy is,
it can flip. Every vote's going to count in this election, and because they have so many of the lines put in favor of the Republicans, if you don't go out and vote and make your way to the where they're trying to make it hard for some districts to vote, if you don't get out there and vote, give people rights to vote, help your neighbors, help the elderly get down and get those ballots cast. It could turn.
Can I
So,
can I say something funny real quick?
sure.
I posted a Debo's question. We haven't answered it yet. She stepped away and came back and heard us talking about somebody being president. She was like, "Please, dear God, they aren't talking about Boebert, right?" No, we were talking about Kamala and Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, I don't see Boebert holding any offices for very long.
Let's ask her question. I know that a lot of people are nervous about that, and
Well,
so it
anything.
does feel like it's almost a fate thing, but we can't be complacent. We do have to go out and vote and get our friends and family out to vote in these coming elections. But from what I picked up from my guide, the way that the energy is right now, the Democrats will hold the presidency for the next decade
Yeah,
because
I've
the earth
always gotten
needs
that
those
too.
changes,
The
and we
next
need to.
3.5 term, well, Biden's term, and then 3 more terms thereafter.
I haven't gotten that much, but I do feel
Well, that's
Biden's
12
already.
years. 4 times.
Yeah,
3
I
is
feel
12.
10 to 12 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boebert doesn't know how to spell presidency. So,
Boebert didn't graduate high school. If you didn't know that.
she's not the sharpest one.
She's not the brightest
don't-
one in the box. For somebody that's against social help, she was raised on the public assistance program. Lived in a garage in an old gas station for a while because that's the only shelter that her family could get. She had a tough life. She dropped out of high school. I'm not even sure she got her GED. She is not college educated. How she managed to gain a Senate seat, I have no clue.
Are you talking about Boebert?
I think that's Lauren Boebert's the one that
She's in the House. She's not in the Senate.
she's in the House.
But I did pick up that Kristen Sinema did come from poor poverty upbringing.
Was it Cinema? I get those two mixed up. They sort of remind me of each other. It's one or the other.
That's where I thought you were going in on that. I was like,
okay,
yeah,
it's one or the other. Was raised in
Lauren
poverty
Boebert
and
didn't
totally
graduate from
against
high school.
social programs, which sort of gets me. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have the food stamps, and your parents didn't get some
Right.
aid, and there's nothing wrong with social programs. They're there for a purpose, and right now people are utilizing them that would never have utilized them otherwise. But that's what they're for, is to keep.
Did they already censor her? I haven't been watching the news a whole lot lately. And I think I heard that they were talking about it, but did they censor?
Sinema and the man, they decided not to because it would throw the vote to the Senate. With her, I don't know.
She's in the House. I don't know if anybody in chat, was she already censured?
I have no idea.
I think she made an anti-Muslim remark about what's her name? Omar in the House.
I don't know this attacking each other in.
I know she's from Colorado.
Treated just like we get treated if we did that at work.
I see that she will. She's going to be voted out. I think they redistrict her map in Colorado.
She doesn't go up till 26, doesn't she? Because she's just in the beginning of a 6-year term.
No, House is always 2 years.
4. Oh, is it 2?
It's 2.
4? 2.
It's 2.
Okay,
the Senate
they go up till 26.
6 years in the Senate, yeah.
Whichever the one that goes up on the 26, that's the one they're going to actually pressure her out.
Oh, Debo said that. I see her voted out.
Her voted out, yeah, definitely.
She'll be voted out because her district's going to change. I do see that she will be censured as well. They said that they don't think she has yet, but I see it coming with her rhetoric.
I think they're waiting till infrastructure is completed before they put the censures in place for everybody, because they don't want to default the majority vote to the Senate, to the Republican Party.
Speaking of infrastructure, I haven't gotten a timeline yet on it because I don't think it's been decided yet. Do you have any idea of when the Build Back Better is going to get passed?
It'll be
I
passed before the end of the year's out, and then they're going to be fighting over the budget funds, which Trump's already trying to get his nose stuck into the middle of. Regardless of what they want, turn it down. He's trying to undermine.
Oh, well, I heard that they need to come up with something by Friday for that, or they
Right.
are
But I think the Build Back Better is going to come back. It's going to be a really stripped down version of it. I mean, we shot for the moon. Biden knew he wasn't going to get everything he asked for. He's been playing the game for many, many, many decades. And he was expecting it to be very much undercut. But remember, we take the Senate, everything moves. This is phase one of, I think, a 3-phase infrastructure bill that'll happen over the next 4 years.
Oh yeah, there's more coming. I definitely see that. After midterm.
And he'll continue on with it into a second term.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It will actually be more successful than the war efforts of what Roosevelt, was it Roosevelt that did the
FDR? Yeah.
FDR, yeah. So it's going to set historical jobs, historical reconstruction of the United States. It's going to get our bridges, roads,
a lot of social programs,
communication, social programs, colleges. I mean, we're going to sort of roll back to some of the stuff that was happening in the 70s with my parents, who could buy a house at 20 years old because they could finance it and qualify, because they were educated and there was plenty of jobs and they made good money.
Right.
My generation, we were in our 30s before we could afford to buy a house. My daughter's generation are pushing, hopefully in their 40s, to be able to buy a house. People that are in their 30s now have so much student loan that it's hard for them to qualify to get a house, let alone, you have a 4-year degree, $100,000 in debt for your education. And if you're not making regular, pretty sizable payments on that, it counts against you to get a loan for a home. And then on top of that, you're not getting the big salaries. That will be turning around. But you
a lot of manufacturing coming in.
Job offer. I know a lot of people in my daughter's generation that have 4-year degree and master's degree that are making $15, $20 an hour on jobs that they should be making $40 an hour starting wages. So, but that is going to turn around. People are demanding higher wages now, and they will get them. That's why so many people are quitting their jobs right now, is they want better wages and they're tired of working for dirt. And
Chris says Biden will go down as one of the best presidents ever. I see that.
Yes, he will. Yes.
He's going to do a lot of those.
And President Trump will be stricken from the record as a legitimate presidency on the basis of all the illegal acts that he had with foreign help getting his presidency. I agree with Linda G there, but it may be 3 or 4 years down the road, well past all the lawsuits and everything else, before they delegitimize him. It's not going to really change anything, but it's going to just be a history of, oh my God, look what happened. We'll never allow this to happen again. I do see, after the Senate turns, I do see a lot of election laws. This grifting that Trump is doing, fundraising, because he's going to run for president, but he actually hasn't put his hat in the ring yet. That's going to stop. You aren't going to be able to fundraise for your, I may run for president. Either you are or you're not, and you have to be vetted into it. The vetting system becoming a president isn't going to be, I declare I want to be president just because. I think you're going to have to go through a whole vetting process, including meeting security clearances. If you can't meet security clearances prior to running for office, you can't run. So if you have all this foreign endeavors and you're lying about it and it's found in your investigation, they won't allow the candidacy. I think they're going to really stricken up those rules. So it won't be so easy. I think they'll even change some of the rules of, well, it doesn't matter if you've been to prison or not. You can still be president. No,
Kathy's talking so much, she keeps freezing on my screen, and it's like it's fast forwarding.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, I wasn't saying that, but it's lagging on my screen. But I was making a joke out of it. I don't know if it was on theirs too.
AOC.
Yes, I agree with everything that you were saying, and I would add that I see a lot of manufacturing jobs get put in, and and there's going to be student debt write-off. There's going to be a lot of social programs that help, and I do agree. I see wage increases as well. The inflation rate will come down as we get more manufacturing done in the U.S. But Vivian asked, what do we see for AOC? And I think eventually I see her in the Senate.
Yeah.
I don't see presidency for her.
I think she'll do another term or so in Congress before she moves over to the Senate. She
got a lot of pressure about running against Chuck Schumer. And I don't see that. It might be, or maybe when he's ready to retire after this term's up, she might try to go for the Senate.
Schumer's going to stay in office for another term.
Maybe it's after that. I do see her as a senator eventually.
Yeah.
I don't see presidency. Not yet. Anyway, it could be a little farther out because she's so young, but
it's going to be way out. She's got a lot of growing to do. Remember, she's only in her late 20s, early 30s. And
I do see her in a leadership position, and it could be a majority leader or speaker too.
Yeah.
But
and
that's a while out.
Very involved in a lot of the committees. She will be a spitfire in the green deals and a lot of the committees that are working on energy and technologies and things like that. She'll be very, very involved with that. Healthcare, social programs.
Yeah. The party's actually going to get progressive and what she stands up for now.
Yeah.
It's already heading in that direction. I think with Kamala's president, it's going to be really progressive.
I really would have liked to have seen Nancy Pelosi take her a little further under her wing than she has. But I think her and Nancy Pelosi
go to the next question.
But she is very much a spitfire like Nancy Pelosi. She's sharp as a tack. She tracks information. She keeps up on stuff. And she reads everything that comes across her desk. It doesn't just sit there and collect dust and she waits to hear what other people are talking about. She reads it. She studies it.
I could see her as a speaker. I could, or a majority leader in the Senate. I definitely see her in a high position of power, but not president.
Yeah, and she's a strong orator. So, she's got the skill of speech, and that works really in her favor.
After this question, I will go to your question, Chris. But since Pelosi was brought up in this, and I kind of want Kathy's opinion, how long do you see her staying? I don't think she's decided
this
yet.
This is her last. I think she will bow out after this.
I think she was waiting to see if the House goes to the Republicans, and if it did, I think she would stay as a minority leader. But I don't see that happening, and I think once midterms happen, she's not going to run for. She'll stay in office for the next 2 years, and then I think she's going to retire. But she will step down from
who is the candidate running in her district will make a difference too. If somebody very, very, very Trumpster, she'll stay in the race, and she may step down as long as California has a Democratic governor. If she does win the race and decides to go ahead and retire, she'll cut a deal with the governor of California that she be replaced with a Democrat candidate, because he'll have the authority to name the candidate rather than a special elections being done. So,
I think the way that the energy is going right now, and like we said before, Democrats are going to retain control of the House, but it's going to be tight in the House. We're going to get more gains out of the Senate, I feel.
Yeah.
But I do believe then she will step down from leadership position, and there will be somebody new coming in.
I think the House is going to becoming closer to 50-50, but it won't be a 50-50. We'll still
Yeah.
have enough
It's going to
majority
be
to
close
take
to what it
the
is now.
vote. But the Senate, we are going to take, and we're going to have enough of enough seats ahead that the Republican Party will not be able to turn enough Democratic votes to sway it. So it will literally cripple
I don't know what's going on with your internet, because I don't know if they're noticing it or if it's just me, but it's like it's very slow.
Really? Is other
Like it's
people
freezing
seeing
up a little bit, but it doesn't completely freeze. Is anybody else noticing that? Like she's lagging a little bit?
I'm talking really fast too.
Well, that's why I was laughing, because you were talking so fast and it was lagging, and it was funny sounding.
These are soapbox subjects for me, and I get carried away. And I haven't talked politics in a while, so it's like.
I love you. I would like to get a word in edgewise a little bit, but I do love you, and I appreciate you for. No, I appreciate you coming on and reading with me, and we do have a good connection together. Yeah, Nancy was saying that you're lagging a little bit, but no, that's why I was laughing about that. But you seem okay at the moment. It keeps coming and going, so. Well, other people say no, but I was noticing it was lagging a little bit, but it could be my internet too. I'm not sure.
You know what? I'm going to step away for just a second.
Okay. Right. All right. Oh, that's cool, Dozen Cats. I see wages being increased in the United States here in 2022. And we will do that. So how is everybody doing today? I'll say hello to some new joiners. Hi, Flowing and Laura. Yeah, I agree, Laura. There's some people that have been in power for a while that it's time for them to retire. All right. And I said hello to Silver. I see eventually too with that, I do see term limits for the House and Senate. I think I said hello to you. Hi, Kenya.
You know what it is? I'm having a little bit of anxiety from that contrast. I just had a CT done with contrast, which makes me anxious. Reaction from the metals. So, blood pressure medication. I noticed a little red. So.
Yeah, I see it a little bit.
That's what made me realize my blood pressure is probably going up, and I tend to talk fast when my blood pressure gets high.
It's okay. I still love you. You're still my big sister from a past life.
Yeah, from another mother from another time.
All right, so voting rights bill. I do definitely see it, a lot of good changes with that. I know other readers have said they've seen it before midterms. I always felt like it was after, but I always felt like it was going to be afterwards. But I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I hope it does happen beforehand, because it does need to get done. But it's not super clear to me either. So
I'm with you on the after, unless the energy really changes. But you know, when I watched Linda G's reading, and she said she saw all the ants go marching by, I went, yeah, oh yeah, that's exactly. Tell us we can't vote. Oh, we'll make it out to the ballots. Just try us. And her, every time I hear her say that, I hear my guides going, that's right. Everybody's going to get there and just plow down the path. And
that's with all the cheating and gerrymandering too in those states. it's going to stay. The House is going to stay in Democrat control as long as we all go out and vote, because of all the high turnout. But because of all their gerrymandering and all that, normally we would have much more seats that we would get. So I see it getting passed after the election, as of right now, anyway. So, but I do hope that it would be nice if it could be done before the election. Even if they did do it before the election, I don't think there's enough time for them to implement it before the election. I think it might be a little bit too late. All right. We had some people on. I don't know if somebody else went live.
Yes.
Guess what?
Somebody else just went live.
Oh, that's okay.
Did your private chat?
Private chat. I don't know. Oh, I got you.
Same as last week.
I got you. It's fine. All right. All right. Hi, Lena. She wants to know about immigration reform. As a U.S. citizen, I am tired of living in the shadows. Blessings. I see it coming after midterms. It might be closer to 2024. Is what I just saw as 24.
Yeah, I think the one part of immigration reform that we're going to see is kids that were raised in the United States and went through the school system. I think there's going to be a revamp in that. And personally, I say if you've gone the majority of your school age years from grade school or mid-grade school, junior high through high school, you've pulled a C or above average grade, you should automatically be given citizenship upon not completion of your studies, but of qualifying graduation. So if you graduate with your class, you should be entitled to become because you've already passed all your citizens tests and everything, you've passed all the coursework, I think you should be granted citizenship. That's my opinion. I'm sure there's a million people out there that would debate that with me, but I think you've earned it. You didn't ask to be brought over as a child. You didn't beg your parents, oh, let's move to the United States because I want a better life. No, your family brought you over so that the entirety of the family could have a better life. They took all the risks. They got it. You went through the school system. You graduated. You're a good student. You should get it. If you're a D student and you just got I completed 4 years of school, but I didn't do the work and I didn't pull the grades, that's going to be a little bit different story. Or you've been in and out of jail and you've been delinquent, and causing havoc. No, it shouldn't be an automatic. But if you've done everything just like any other citizen had, gone through the school system, graduated, yes, you should become a citizen. Your contribution you're invested into our society. Your parents have invested into our society, and yes, you should be granted citizenship.
I got a hit while you were talking. I see it being easier to be a citizen, and I think that they are going to really revamp that because of the work shortages, and we need workers and everything. So,
well, I think we're going to see a lot more work visas being opened up right now. They're almost at a standstill. I live in California, in the Central Valley, and there is a huge shortage of farm laborers. And the ones that are here that have always worked farm laborers, they don't even want to work. They were having really hard times getting walnuts in this year because the crews they were putting together weren't showing up.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's all about, but
there's such a labor shortage. We need, we need a lot of people from other countries to come in and kind of help with that. I see that getting through. It feels like it's 2024. The Dreamers, I don't think he's done anything about that yet, but I definitely see that.
It's the Dreamers I'm talking about being granted automatic citizenship.
Yeah.
You know, if they pull
I
the
see
goods,
that will happen before immigration reform.
yeah, that will. And
I
they're
agree
gonna
with
have to
you on that,
revamp
yeah.
how people can legitimately ask for asylum and things like that. Now, I think that we're gonna try to put a lot of that back on Mexico because Mexico's letting them break through the borders and from other countries and travel through Mexico to hit the United States, and they're not helping the situation any. And I think we're going to say, you know what? You didn't stop them on your end. You need to take more responsibility for that too. They are currently in your country. So you need to step up on some of those social programs and make some jobs and retain part of those people and give them opportunities in your country. But it's going to be sort of interesting because
Well, it's
part of the
sad
reason
because
why
of
they
all
won't
the
leave
drug
that country.
cartels and everything in there, and these families are fleeing for their own safety, so.
Mhm.
But I agree with Dozen Cats. If you pay taxes, you should be a citizen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you're a criminal or something like that. But I
Yeah.
agree with that. I'm gonna do a couple of the questions that were sent to me, and then we can get to some of these other questions. But I had a couple that were sent to me. Stephanie Turner asked a question that I normally don't do, but I got a resounding answer to her question. I don't normally do stock and financial information like that because I'm ignorant on and all that. But she asked if AMC stock is a good investment, and my guides said instantly no. So I would take it with a grain of salt. I normally don't give financial advice, but I'm just telling you what my guide said. I heard no very loudly.
I'm hearing nothing about any specific stock, and even if I did, I wouldn't share that because it's against my ethics.
Well, like
But
I
in
said, take
regards
it
to
with a
the
grain of salt.
entirety of the stock market and our economy, I see a roller coaster. We're going to go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down.
Bye,
And then
Dozen Cats.
I think by the summer of next year, we'll start stabilizing out as infrastructure jobs start getting emphasized and different projects start going up, and then we'll level out. After midterms, things are going to get a lot better. We're going to get a lot more balance. And we're teeter-tottering right now between a combination of a lot of the 1-6 commission stuff and the new variances of COVID. Every time we get a COVID scare, everything sort of the boats get rocked.
Yeah, we saw that pandemic economy.
Yeah. And we're going to still struggle through. I don't think we're going into a full hardcore recession, but we are all getting hit with these. I don't know
It's
about
the
you guys' grocery
inflation
bill. My
that
grocery bills have almost doubled this last
yeah, it's
year.
inflation. I
And
don't see a recession. I do see the economy going up and down, and
yeah,
I agree with the stock market. It's like a roller coaster right now because we're in that pandemic economy. But yeah, I see the inflation getting under control next year. I think spring, summer.
yeah.
Silver asks if Google and Facebook will ever be broken up, and I feel yes, but it's a couple years out.
They're going to have
2-3 years.
huge management change. Zimmerman is going to step aside and
Zuckerberg, you mean?
Zuckerberg, yeah. And I don't think one person's going to replace him. I think it's going to be more like a board.
Yeah,
It'll
I can see
be
that.
like 5 people that are sort of heading out, and they're going to all take responsibilities for sections of the company. And I think some of the changes that the congressional committees have been grilling them on and stuff like that, they're going to start holding their feet to the fire on some of this
Yeah.
misinformation.
Well, and also, there's not any other. It's like a monopoly in the tech company. Like these companies are too big and have too much power, and
Yeah, way
no
too
company
much
should
power.
have that much power. And I do see them being broken up and not being allowed to be that big.
Also, they're going to be screening out a lot of that international misinformation type.
Yeah.
they're
We're
gonna
going to
have
see that
to,
in the
they're
news
gonna have to
too.
create logarithms that identify those type of ad
Yeah.
campaigns that are coming from third party out of country, and
You're
they
going
can
to see
do
that
it.
from the news though too. There's going to be something where all these companies that post news cannot post disinformation as news. It will have to be, you know, for entertainment purposes only, or something like labeled like that, because you can't give false information as news. I see
I
that.
wouldn't even doubt that they don't put restrictions on what kind of campaign ads, how much of
Yeah,
that can be distributed. I remember, back in the 2016 election, I always thought it was hilarious. I go to Lena's channel and there'd be all these for Trump ads right before she called,
oh really?
opened
Yeah,
her site for the Yeti. I always thought it was so ironic because Linda G, same thing. Positive Trump ads right before negative
yeah.
readings against him. I always thought it was hilarious. And yeah, that didn't sway my vote, um, but some of the disinformation in the campaign ads and the tasteless campaign ads, I think they're going to put some restriction on that too.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have fact backing it and it's made up garbage that cannot be proven as fact, they're not going to allow it. Unfortunately, if the Democrats do their job, they've got buckets full of stuff they can throw in the face of Republicans right now. If
Yeah.
they'll just do it
And grow a pair.
and grow a pair.
Yeah.
And I think where they need to start is where the media started. Hey, this is who voted for the infrastructure bill. And here's the Republicans in our state that doesn't want you to have new roads, bridges, and services. They voted no. The newspapers did this, frontline stories. This Democratic candidate supported this Democratic candidate supported it. This Republican doesn't want the people to have these things. They
No,
voted no.
Democrats have an issue with messaging, and yeah, they need to fight fire with fire because they need to go on the offense and
They've got to put
call out
points
these
so strictly to
Republicans.
the ethical rules of we're not going to go there.
I agree. I do see them getting stronger, or I really hope that they do.
They can do it factually without breaking ethics.
Right.
Campaign and use the facts against them without breaking ethical rules. They're not making it up. They're just pointing out what the opposition party failed to do for the people. And that's the whole point. The Republican Party doesn't have a platform. Their platform is not to let anything in the Democratic Party pass. That's not a platform.
I agree.
So what are they standing for?
For money and power.
Getting Trump back is not a stand for the people. What are they standing for the people? What will they do for our nation besides block the Democrats? So as you're blocking the Democrats,
agree with you.
what are you going to do for the people?
Our next question's from Deb O, and this is probably going to be a quick one, but I feel like I don't know if anybody's in chat or if chat just got slow, because I haven't gotten any new messages in a while. Maybe it's StreamYard.
Well, Denise just
hello to anybody new that's joining and to everybody that's lurking. Debo asked if we see Britney Spears getting any of her money back from her family that stole from her, and if there'll be criminal charges for any of them. I don't think she's going to get very much back. That's just my feeling.
Very little bit. I think her father
her father's
is
going to get
her
charged.
parents are going to be held somewhat responsible for some of that money, and they may take investments and stuff that he has and liquidate them, recoup that money. But they're not going to let him keep it if he has investments and things tied up in stock and CDs and 401ks and all that. And
he might get like $1 million or $2 million back. I feel like it's going to be very small.
But it won't be what he's grifted off from her.
I don't see anything for the mom. I do see him
I think
getting
it's sad.
charged. And then Debo also asks if we see the UK ever joining the EU or being able to make a deal with them. It's totally shambolic what Boris Johnson has gotten us into. I don't know if I see that. I do feel it's going, if they do join the EU again, it's going to be a little while.
I think some parts of it will return, but parts of it, like Scotland, I see Ireland becoming totally dependent,
Mm-hmm. I see that too.
independent eventually, not just Northern Ireland. I see all of Scotland leaving the EU for the first time. They've centuries and centuries. My people have been fighting for that, and I think they will achieve that. I'm not Scottish. Yeah, I'm Scottish. I have a heavy Scottish background. I'm Scottish and Irish, so I do see both Ireland and Scotland breaking from the EU, but other countries I do see pulling back together because of the trade agreements are just impossible without a congregation of unity. And that's the only way they're going to get decent trade agreements. But I do think the allied countries are going to pull together with trade agreements and help hold trade at reasonable prices and stuff with China. We're going to have to band together to keep that under control for the betterment of all of our allied countries, not just ourselves, but them too. I do see not only us regaining some of the these are things I wanted to talk about in my predictions for next year too, which
somebody asked what we see for 2022, but I think we're going to do something separate.
We're going to actually do it, and
we need to talk about doing that and brainstorm on it, Lena.
Yeah. I don't think I've sent it to you yet. I have a idea of how we should approach it.
I have some stuff that I've picked up on before, but I need to sit down and really collect all of my thoughts and all of them.
I'm getting a lot of downloads for next year's predictions, and that's why
there's going to be a lot of weather and earth events. I feel
a lot of things are happening next year. It's going to be a wild and crazy ride next year. I can say that much.
Yeah, we'll save it for a different video, though.
For the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want to get our collaborative energies. Anybody knows, they watch us read and we really focus on our, well, they don't see some of the stuff we do behind the scenes because we never record it. We will record these discussions so that
I need to just write down everything that I've saw and said that I feel for next year, and then really meditate and pick up
and then
whatever
we'll meditate on it and get really good clarification together. Because
take care, Nancy. And hi, Earth Mama.
Yes.
Debo says it's a shame. She's talking about Brittany after all she's went through. The issue with that, Debo, is that they don't have that money anymore. They've already spent it.
Yeah. I mean, he kept her on her feet working to grift her.
Earth Mama is my taking.
Falling apart, she was out on the stage because he signed a contract and made her go out there. Sad, sickening, and sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
It's basically, I sort of look
slavery.
At it it's like prostituting him for his profit, or her for his profit, which is just BS to me. And I'm glad.
Mama says that my take on 2022 is the year of trials. I feel the trials starting at the end of 2022, but I feel like the year of trials will be 2023.
Those will be still active, but I think there's going to be a point in time. Yeah, we're going to hear about him, but it's not going to be the most important thing in the news.
Yeah.
One thing, everybody knows that he's guilty. Those will be the headlines. There will be some channels like CNN or something will televise them, or MSNBC. They'll televise them, but I think a lot of us are going to start tuning out because we are just so sad. I mean, I haven't read Political in 3 months because I got so politically burnt out. I went, I can't do this anymore. I need a break. And now I'm really missing it. And
now I'm getting burned off from all the personals.
Yeah. Too much. We got to mix it up. That's something that a bunch of us readers have been talking about. Is we all talk. We're all good friends, and we're all in the same boat. We need to mix it up. We need to not just talk politics, not just talk personals. We need a nice mix of everything because it becomes repetitive.
Mhm.
And it's got to be repetitive for our audiences too, if it is for us reading it. So we want to do a nice mix. And one of the things I'd like to get more questions from people on is I do a lot of writing, and I do a meditative channeled writing with my guides. So if you have spiritual questions and you want a topic discussed, I will do a deep dive meditation, do free writing with it. It all comes from the divine. It's not coming from me. And then I will integrate that into a program. And I'll even, especially once my community page is open, I will start posting my writing because I do all my free writing on the computer because I can't write with a pen fast enough. But I type 90 words a minute. And believe it or not, my guides can spell even though I can't. So that's a joke between Wayne and I. So who's under the chat right now?
Sometimes, sometimes your messages, it takes a lot for me to try to decipher your code.
Part of the time is I'm this small keyboard and I'm 5'9", and
I usually pick it up.
Big hands. Okay, I need to call my husband back. He's called me 3 times now. I'll be right back and keep on the discussion. He must want something.
Mark Meadows is he was the chief of staff for Trump, right? And they called for him on the January 6th. Is that who I'm thinking of? And he's not complying with them. I see him being indicted, if that's who I'm thinking of. But the January, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he'll be indicted. I don't know if he might actually, after he's indicted, he might actually try to cooperate. Bannon, I definitely see going to jail. They've already gotten a lot of information too from some people that they haven't made it public yet. So a lot of the information they already know from the other ones. Sent some paperwork. Did he send paperwork and documents to the January 6th? Is that what you're saying, Chris? I see him somewhat cooperating, and that's why I was saying I do feel an indictment with him, but I do feel cooperation as well. So everything all good?
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. How'd your doctor's appointment go? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
I had to see. I'm like, honey, I just had a CT scan. I won't know anything until I've got one more test, and then I'll do the surgical consult. So, yeah, all good. And he's taking it easy.
Oh, I see.
It's hot in the sun, he said.
Yeah, he's very wishy-washy, Mark Meadows. He doesn't really want to get involved with it, but he's also afraid of jail.
I think he is turning on Trump behind the scenes, and they're playing it like he's not cooperating, but he's actually doing a little more cooperating than it's appearing, and that's why the charges haven't been filed. Because
I feel like they're really thinking about indicting him, though, because I was feeling
he will be indicted. I have seen him going to jail. He's too involved, but he won't get as big a charges as he would have otherwise. I see it maybe 1 or 2 years, considering how up front seat he was right next to Trump. But he's gonna give a lot of information on Trump that is sealed and behind the scenes, and it's been done before his subpoena was issued. he knew the subpoena was coming. I think there's been a lot of closed door conversation going. And that's why the charges didn't go super fast to the DOJ. That's the only logical way I could see that happening. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. My pendulum.
My pendulum says yes, he's going to jail. I didn't feel that before, but it might be a lower charge, like you were saying. That would
Is
make
Mark
sense.
Meadows leaking information to? Yes, to the committee. Yes, I got a big yes on that. He is leaking information right now. Okay, stop, please. Will Mark Meadows do less than 3 years in jail? I'm getting a big yes. So yes, will he do more than a year in jail for his participation? Yes. So he's going to be doing more than a year, less than 3. He will go to jail though. Will he get less charges than Bannon?
Yes.
Yes. So Bannon's going to get indicted on the non-cooperation for the subpoena, and then Bannon's going to be indicted for his participation in setting up and funding and all kinds of things. You know who I have a question about since we're on this topic?
Mm-hmm.
My governor and Trump's oldest son's girlfriend. She's been reported to have raised $3 million towards the 1-6. And will she be indicted for her involvement in financially fundraising to launch?
Real quick before we get into that, let's just do a yes or no for Earth Mama, because I heard no, that he's not cooperating right now, Mike Flynn.
No, he's not cooperating.
And the pendulum said no too, so I don't know who said that he was cooperating. What's her
He
name?
will be going back to jail too, and I think he's taking his
Yes.
brother down with him.
Kimberly Guilfoyle, is that her name?
Yes, Guilfoyle.
So what are we asking?
Will she be indicted for fundraising to finance the 1-6 insurrection?
Pendulum says yes.
Oh yeah, I'm getting like a big yes. I mean,
so let's ask if she's going to jail.
I need to drop my camera down a little bit. You gotta see this. I got a great big yes on that one.
I get a no for jail though, if she'll be charged.
No, I got indictments.
But an indictment's before she's charged.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be charged.
Will she do any jail time? Oh, you're right. No, she's not going to jail. Oh, damn. I wonder how she slips through that one. Will Junior take the rap for her?
Junior's going to jail.
Junior's going to take those charges because he's behind that fundraising.
I feel 3 years of jail for him. Kushner's even longer.
Oh, Kushner's 7 to 8 years is what I was.
Yeah, he feels like it's almost 10 years in jail.
Yeah, he'll do at least 7 to 8 actual jail time. Will Ivanka do any jail time? I'm seeing a year or 2. I think it's a hand slap.
I'm not feeling any jail for her. She flips and gives up all the information that they need.
Will Ivanka be indicted? Oh, no, she's not even going to be indicted. Yeah, no. She totally flipped. Is she going to flip totally on her father?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, big yes. See that big yes?
I have always felt that it's Ivanka is the one that really hurts
is
Trump
Ivanka,
the most.
Here's the question of the day. Is Ivanka the woman all the readers have seen bringing Trump down?
I think
yes,
there's a couple.
Ivanka is the woman.
Yeah, I've always picked that up too.
Oh, look how big a yes that is.
Yeah.
So Ivanka is that queen that's going to be bringing him down. Far out. You go,
There's a
girl.
couple other women too, but Ivanka's the big one. She's the one that gives all the
She's the one that has
details.
all the detailed dirt on what's going
She
on.
flips on her husband too.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not even throw on that one. I know she's gonna flip on him.
Yeah.
They're
Earth's mama
married
said that she
with a
thought that she
contractual
heard on the news
agreement,
that
the
Mike
business
Flynn
one.
is cooperating.
Ivanka and Kushner's marriage is a business arrangement. It is not a love arrangement.
Earth Mama said that she thought she heard that on the news that Mike Flynn's cooperating. If the news said it, I don't believe it. So I felt no strongly that he was not cooperating.
Well, I don't know. I think he's got a really good game plan. All religion needs to go out, and this nation needs to be under one religion. He'll pick it. Yeah, start being careful on what you're watching about spiritualism stuff. He's integrating a lot of the language, the New Age language, into his
Mike Flynn is?
Mike Flynn is, yeah.
There's a lot of weird conspiracy theorists, and there's a lot of readers that I don't subscribe to that are in on that.
That's some real weird indoctrination, yeah. If you're intuitive even the slightest bit, you'll pick up on it. If you're an empath, some of the messaging will come off with a very weird vibration.
It's dark feeling.
Yeah, and if you're watching somebody that you just are not resonating with, don't watch. Just turn it off. Even me, even Kevin, if you're not resonating with us, move on to another channel. We don't want you to just sit here and endure and then become negative in our chat. Trust readers that you resonate with.
You know, I agree. Although I welcome all of you here, and then I'm happy that you're all here. But yeah.
But if we're not resonating, we don't want to hold a captive audience.
Kathy, I love you for saying that. I don't want to talk about it on here. There was an issue the other day, and
I wasn't even going there.
Oh, well, that's where I thought you were going with it, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it. So
No.
There was an issue.
I think all readers agree with that. If I don't resonate,
I agree.
You don't have to put the hate in there. Just move on. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas Energy says, well, you're just one of
40,000 viewers. No. Attack one of us. That's not okay. So that's something that you should just unsubscribe.
Yeah, we just don't want to throw out negativeness.
Yeah, agreed.
It's bad enough having to read politics and trying to be positive. We send. That's one thing I always say. Please don't send hate energy to Trump and their family and all these GOP. Send them love. And when you're sending them love, request that love brings truth forward from them. And maybe that will hit their hearts and they'll just spill the beans on themselves.
Yeah, you can't send all that negative and low vibrational energy, because then you're just manifesting that.
Well, not only that, but when you start going in the mindset of negative energy, you bring your own energy down too.
Yeah.
And you want to live your life with the highest vibration you can achieve, because that's when you can manifest. That's when all the good things happen to you. That's when people around you are very responsive towards you.
And we're keeping him relevant by getting all that anger and emotions involved with it. We're keeping him in power.
Feeds his fire. He loves that.
His fire, yeah.
Yeah. And nothing's better for him. He's one of those people that good press, bad press, just being in the press is helpful. Keeps him relevant. Even if it's negative,
that's what he likes.
Relevant.
Karina says that I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think if media just would quit giving him 5 minutes of time, everybody would lose interest.
I agree, and they don't do it, which is why I haven't been watching the news a whole lot lately, because they like the ratings and they like to fuel the fire and the fear.
Yeah, so. I've actually quit watching the news and I've gone to print media, because one thing they don't put their opinions in. They're not stirring the pot. They're not throwing all the misinformation with it. They're just saying, here's what's going on. Here's the facts. This is our findings. There it is. You're not getting the replays of the misinformation that they're wanting you to hear to tell you it's not right. To me, by playing that, it somewhat indoctrinates you into that brainwashing process that Trump's got going on. So I don't know.
Missy said that we both did a reading for her that was on target. And thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask if anybody has any spiritual questions. Let's get off of politics real quick and see if anybody has any spiritual, metaphysical questions. Because I really enjoyed when I was on Allie's channel, we were doing a lot of those kind of questions. And
I was at the doctor's, so I missed it. But I knew you were going on because you would contact me.
It was really good.
I'm going to go back and watch it. I'm looking excited to watch that.
I was happy with that. So if anybody has any spiritual or metaphysical questions, maybe do a couple and then probably jump off of here. I think it's interesting what Karina says because I agree with her. She says, I always see Ivanka driving a bus and everyone is under it. She throws the whole family under to save herself.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. Absolutely.
She's a very selfish person. She only cares about herself.
She is very much her father. She's a feminine version of her father, and she is not going to take the fall for him. She's probably the only one. The boys, especially Junior, wants his approval so much. He needs that approval of his father so much that he'll do anything, including hang himself, just to get his father's approval. And unfortunately, it's never coming.
Yeah, he's always I feel like Eric too, but I think Don Jr. especially has never gotten his father's love. He's always been a disappointment. And his father's not very nice to him. So he's always tried to get that approval.
I think Eric is not as IQly as bright as Ivanka and Junior. But what's Eric's got for him is he was smart enough to not, well, one, they left him out of the loop on a lot of things. But as he was left out on a lot of things, he was making money and he was taking it and investing it on his own. So he's the one that's sitting on a nice little nest egg of his own that is not Trump org related. That's out of some of his own business opportunities that he had going prior to inheriting Trump org.
He has
but he'll be going down
some kind of mental disability that he struggles with, I felt like.
I think he has some learning disabilities just like Daddy. Now, I'm a dyslexic, and I can tell you the minute I saw Trump do his first written speech and he was reading it, I went, oh, he's super dyslexic. He's as dyslexic as I was as a child. The difference is he never overcame it because he paid everybody to do the work for him. And that's sad. And don't underestimate him. Dyslexics are extremely high IQ. He's just got this dementia and that narcissistic energy around it that keeps him down. And with the dementia and the mental issues going on there, he has lost what high IQ he used to have. Because if you go back to watch his interviews 20 years ago, he was quite bright. He sounds like a babbling idiot now.
Well, and I think that also has to do with he has some dementia issues.
Yeah, dementia issues, and then mix that with the narcissism and drugs and
all the Adderall.
This is only YouTube. He has a serious drug issue, along with Junior, and probably a number of.
I feel Junior does the hard stuff. I mean, I've always felt Adderall personally with Trump.
And he's been taking Adderall since he was a kid because along with the dyslexia, he's ADHD.
Yeah.
And you can clearly, if you read Mary's book, just the behavioral issues he had as a child, that's clearly not ADD, but ADHD. That's the bouncing off the wall, can't control his emotions, his because he is so hyperactive that he can't settle himself down. He can't control it.
I think
And
Ivanka is the smartest out of all of them.
yeah, IQ wise, I think she is extremely smart. She is cagey smart like her dad.
Yeah.
And
But she's somewhat book smart too.
She's very book smart, but she's a master manipulator.
Yeah.
And she learned from her father.
Misty asked, since we're going to do some spiritual questions and then call it a day, I think, how many guides on average does a person have? I was feeling 4 to 5, but they change. When you find different specialties or different things that you're passionate about, you'll have other guides that will swap in to help you along with that. So it really just depends. At one time, you normally have, I would say, 3 to 5 guides around you helping you.
You have one guide that will be forever with you from birth to death and your crossing. That guide may change in your next incarnation, but that guide will be with you sometimes through many incarnations and sometimes just one, and then it might change out. Right now I'm very I'm a crazy meditator. I'm very in tune to my guides. Right now I'm working with approximately 8. One of the other people I'm working with, he has 6 guides that has currently in circular, but his main guide and the archangel are the 2 driving forces with them. My main guide works directly under Raphael. He is a healer. He's a shaman. And I believe Kevin's is too. Yeah. And we both work directly under archangels. We're healers. We do a lot of light work, a lot of energy work, Reiki. I do light work. It's a little bit different than the Reiki. But
it's like the same concept though. So
it's very, very, very similar. But people that work in those realms tend to work under the archangel angel Raphael, and that won't be their direct guide. That will be the guide. That will be the archangel over the guide that we're assigned to. They answer to the higher, and then the higher answers to source. It's sort of a level, and then you'll have other ones that come and go depending on the circumstances and what's going on in your life. And some will just come in momentarily. Some will be with you because you're going through a teenage trauma or something, or a learning process. And they're specializing with this little aspect of your life. They come in, they help with that, then they move on, and somebody else comes in. So yeah, it's quite a complexity. It's just like
do you feel like it's usually 4 or 5 guides though, around there?
I would say, yeah, at no less than 3 or 4. And if it's depending on how spiritually involved you are and what your life's about and the kind of work you're doing, I think you could have 10 to 20 guides, depending on how extensively evolved your life cycle's being. I think people
that have that many guides, so I don't
high genius level creators, like Einstein and stuff.
I don't feel like you have that many usually active at one point, but yeah, I agree. It depends on what all you have going on around you and what you need help with.
Yeah, I don't think they're all sitting at the table going, "Hey, do this, hey, do that."
But they're around if you do need that.
They're around. They're interacting from different moments of the day, different moments, aspect of your time. Yeah.
George sent a nice comment. He said, "I have no questions, but I would like to send in my gratitude for the reading and insight into our world. We are all in this together." Yes, we are.
Oh, yes, we are.
Thank you.
Yeah. And realize we're here for this. We have all chose to be here in this time of our evolution of the earth. And all the children from ages newborn now and still coming to into their mid to late 20s. These are our innovators. These are the generation coming behind us. We're here to guide them. Our parents were here to guide us so that we could guide them. They're the ones that are going to do the work. They're going to do the real work. They're going to change the way we live.
They're going to change the
all
world.
the green energy, that all complete change of technology, the way we communicate, the way we transport, the energies, the home structures, everything's going to change. Those of you that are in your 30s and 40s now are going to be here to see some of that. I mean, I think about when I came into this world in 64, and I was born in 1964. What has happened from my birth? We've landed on the moon. My dad used to move computer systems into office buildings. I'm carrying a computer that's stronger than the one that was kept in an entire office building right here in the palm of my hand now. 30 years. I mean, yeah. 30 years. It's gone from a building to a handheld. That's a hell of a lot of growth.
Well, and these younger kids coming in now too are already coming in at vibrating at a higher level, and they're helping with the Earth ascension and all the positive changes that are going to.
And I can tell you, I have 4 grand, and 3 out of the 4 I already know are heavily psychic.
Yeah,
they have abilities. I mean,
because they're already at a higher vibration than what most kids are, and that's how a lot of these new kids are coming.
My oldest granddaughter programmed the remote control at 1 to all the stations on TV she liked.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it with the one in the living room. Then she went into the bedroom and programmed the one in the bedroom. My daughter never did figure out how to unprogram it with the book. They come in with the knowledge of technology. They also have a different way of communicating than we do. You know, they talk and everything, but they communicate. They almost have a silence communication between them. It's their own little language going on. I watch my 2 middle grandchildren that are a year apart. They actually spoke a foreign language together for about 2 years, almost 3, before Addie taught James how to speak English. And you're going to see a lot of kids also born with Asperger's and being on the autism spectrum, more and more kids. They're exceptionally bright children. They're very, very hyper-focused, and especially the Asperger's. They're hyper-focused, but they're social too. Where autism, they don't have the social ability that the Asperger's do, but they're extremely bright and focused into 1 or 2 areas, highly developed. And they will contribute a lot to our society, because these are our innovators. These are our inventors, our high-tech minds. And because they're so hyper-focused, they're going to be the big innovators with big groups around them supporting them. And it's going to be amazing. I wish I could be here. You know, by the time some of this stuff comes, I would be pushing 100. Don't see that happening. But a lot of people, you know, if you're in your 30s, 40s, you're going to watch it evolve, and
right.
Mark my word, you will be amazed. I mean, the 60s through to 2000 is nothing compared to what the next 30 and 40 years are going to do. That's going to look like snail's pace compared to what happens next. So,
what do you pick up for this next question? Travels asks if what it means when you're meditating and you see like cat faces, eagles, and other animals or aliens. Is that a download? I think it's normally messages from your spirit guides or your
and your spirit animals,
or like your totems.
Yeah.
Usually a download to me comes in as a frequency, and it almost feels like you just get like your vibrations are raised, and you just feel like buzzing in your ear is usually how they come in for me. And then either I just start, if I get a download, I'll normally start to do some like journaling or like automatic writing to try to decipher it.
Mm-hmm. I'm also getting a lot, and I think I've shared this with Kevin. I get a lot of downloads, and I start doing that concentrated, and I keep on getting over just doing a DNA adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what kind of DNA adjustment? And then I'll get brain frequency changes, internal DNA changes to make you more adaptable. Personally, it's a topic I actually wanted to do a discussion with another person that has. I've had several strokes and I have multiple sclerosis, so I have lesions in my brain. And I know a couple other readers that have had those same type of issues that have brain injuries. And I'm wondering if our part of this DNA fix is some reprogramming of our brain pathways, and that we're not getting as impacted from the TBIs and brain lesions and that damage to our brain because we're getting diverted. We're using different parts of our brain and we're getting remapping. Because my neurologist to this day cannot figure out why I can walk.
It's like a rewiring.
My brain has completely rewired. I can walk. It took me, when I stopped walking, I was down for 2.5 weeks. And they said, oh, you're probably going to end up in a wheelchair. I went to physical therapy. I fought through it. And it took a while, but I regained all my motor skills back. And he's dumbfounded. He just doesn't know why. I don't think I'm using that. I got a burnout in that neurological section of my brain, and I think it's just rewired it. I relearned everything, and I think that's some of what we're doing.
We're not doing personals today, Karina, but I got a yes on that. You're sensing your mom.
Yeah. My dad comes in as a pipe smoke. Nobody smokes pipes anymore. I don't know why.
It's my grandma's perfume.
So good. Men, take up smoking pipes if you have to smoke. Got that, Kevin?
Yeah. Earth Mama says our family has a master guide who has appeared to us all from time to time, usually death and birth. Yeah.
We have one in our family too. We can actually track him between 5 of us. We've seen him all our lives. And we can track him from house to house. Totally get that one.
It's cool. It's like an ancestor guide.
Yeah. He and he comes in the time of need and time of distress and the time of joy. And he's a prankster and he steals car keys. And you have to ask nicely for them back or he won't give them back. And if you get snitty about it, he will not return them for weeks. He never puts it back.
That's not very nice. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my pendulum.
Right now, I have a woman and a little boy. I think everyone has a child guide. I'm not working with any children right now. Not that appear to me as children.
Yeah, I don't feel that doesn't resonate with me, but I'm not saying.
But I'm not saying it's not possible.
Yeah, and sometimes they come across too, however they want to come across.
But I do see my guides as feminine and masculines. They present themselves in whatever form that they feel most comfortable in. Because your guides have walked the earth before. Your archangels haven't. But the guides have had lives. My guide was a shaman about 5,000 years ago. In ancient time. And he has not reincarnated since then, from what he's told me, because he met all his vibrational levels and achievements 5,000 years ago. And he's been working as a guide. And he is the one that's holding my hand, and he's teaching me shamanic light work. And he is literally teaching me step by step how to heal fractures of the heart, the different chakras that are fractured in this lifetime. And I'm doing a lot of that work. After people cross, after they've done the life review, before they do the final cross. And that's where I'm stepping in with my shaman guide, and I'm being trained to do this. So, and I carry that also to this side.
You do a lot of the work in
Midnight
your
work I'm putting
sleep
out to
too.
people here.
You do a lot of that work in your sleep too. A lot of that
Oh, I
healing.
did all that work in my sleep. They just started actually showing it to me finally. I was getting all these thanks from different readers. Oh yes, all your guys from the other side are saying you're doing beautiful, beautiful work on the other ascension work on the other side. I'm like, okay. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. You know?
Right. Excuse me.
And then when I started working with some clients, we walked through with a client healing a family member of a client and doing that light working and fixing a broken heart.
Mhm.
And then after that, I got this in my next meditation. My guy said, "This is what you're doing on the other side." And then he started showing me through my dreams what I was doing. I thought, no wonder I'm waking up so exhausted. I'm
Right.
working all night. I'm really not sleeping at all. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing work, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Earth Mama says, I think the single biggest technology that has changed in the world the most is the cell phone. I agree.
Oh, I absolutely agree. This is what I hate. Telemarketers.
Oh, they're still bugging you? They haven't been bugging me today, but I get them every now and then. I get them all day.
Same one has called me 6 times since we've been live from the same number. And I never
My
answered.
favorite's when they change their location and call from different numbers and they want to call you 20 times in a day.
I have had a couple that picked up the last call they dialed and used their number as their display number. And I've called it and I said, "Would you quit calling me?" And they're like, "No, you called me." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. You're
Right.
a telemarketer." And they're like, "No, this is a private line." Oh. Yeah, that's not good. And I've
Yeah,
got
that's what it is.
messages on my one that's happened too. So
It's
they
a
need to make it
computer chip.
illegal.
That kind of technology is what's advanced the most, and they're in the cell phones and in the computers. Your cell phone's pretty much a computer that's tiny.
I actually think they will do some legislation.
Legislation.
Yes, to rid this problem, and they will hold the phone
Yeah,
company
I've seen that too.
instead of them saying, "Oh, if you pay extra $3 or $10 a month, we can stop that from happening." They're going to say, "No, you need to stop it from happening, not bothering me. Why should I have to pay extra to save your server? Save your own server and quit sending the calls for me." They can stop the auto dials. They just need to do it because it's drawing their servers down. I mean, give me a break. Please give me a break. I'm tired of these.
Right.
And everybody wants to refinance my house too.
My student loans call me about going back into income-based repayments, and it's like they're harassment. It's crazy.
Oh, I get the phone call that I'm now qualified to get my student loans dismissed. And I said, "Really? That's funny. I paid cash for my college education."
Yeah, it's all a scam.
I didn't take a student loan. I'm 58, so I'm at the last generation that community college and all that. The tuition was $5 a unit, and it went up to $20 a unit before I got through junior college. And I did a deferred note every semester for my university, which meant that they would front the money to me, and before the next semester, I had to have that paid off. So I made payments. I worked two part-time jobs, and went to school full-time. So I was really working full-time, going to school full-time. And half the money went to childcare, half the money went to pay my deferred. And I lived at home because I was in college and my mom would let me. And I paid the utilities at my mom's house. But yeah, I got a little lucky there. But my parents were not wealthy enough to pay for my tuition. I wasn't raised with any silver spoon.
Well, my parents were wealthy enough. They just did not choose to do that. So
Yeah. I can tell you, I think it's I think it's wonderful if you're rich enough to pay your children's college tuition, but I think they appreciate the education more if they have to pay for it themselves.
well, but it's
It's like
also,
buying your own car. You appreciate the one you purchased for the first time yourself much more than the one that was handed to you.
I think it depends on the situation. If
Yeah.
I mean, it's situational, but it also shouldn't break you and burden you for the rest of your life to have to take out student loans to
Actually, my daughter took out
better
student loans
yourself.
to cover her tuition. I gave her half my income.
Yeah.
And when she discovered I was giving her half my income, she goes, "I thought you got paid every 2 weeks, not every week." And I said, "I do." And she goes, "Oh my God, Mom, you're sending me half your income." And I said, "I'm investing in my future." And she goes, "Well, how do you figure that?" I said, "You're not moving back home after you get an education."
Good night, then.
I'm not raising you till you're 40. You're on your own after you get college. You should be able to land a job.
Right.
It worked. My daughter's extremely independent, and you think I talk.
Missy says, "I love these kind of chats." I do too.
I do too.
But I think we haven't gotten any new questions in a while. I think I am going to call it a night. But I want to thank everybody that was watching. And if you're not subscribed to Kathy's channel, it's Kathy's Guided Light. Please go check her out. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for that. I go on her channel on Sundays to do some personal readings a lot of times. Me and Kathy both do private readings. If you're interested in that, you can email me at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com, and I always keep it on my channel and in my description box. How can people get a hold of you, Kathy, if they're interested in private?
My email address is Guided Light Tarot without the Kathy in front of it. 333. That's the time of night I wake up every single morning at 3:33. So at gmail.com.
Mhm.
And it is listed in my about box on my website.
On your channel page, right?
On my channel page. Or on my about page on my website. And I need to go into my last video and put it on the description page because for some reason it's not integrating on the YouTube and it's supposed to. So I will go back and add that. I hadn't had time to go in and do that. I'm actually working on a meditation right now. I thought I would share with you, and I hadn't even talked to Kevin about this. I'm going to do some meditation work. I don't even remember where I got the idea from. On hauntings, elementals, elemental energies that you'll hear about, like on some of the Ghost Hunter channels.
Yeah.
Demons. Are they fallen angels or what? I'm gonna meditate with my guides and get answers for these things.
You're going dark
how
here.
come in play. People that are uncrossed souls versus souls that are crossed and how they interact in this realm in interaction with humans. I already have the answer for that one because that's one I've meditated on before. Parallel universe. What we call gateways or portals and dimensional portals. I sort of wanted to address that a little bit with my guides, and I'm going to do this all in scribe writing in deep meditation.
Do some automatic writing.
Yeah, it's like automatic writing, except for I type it, so it comes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because my brain works like super fast, and I can type 90 words a minute. I can write about 5. I have really bad arthritis in my hand.
Yeah.
So, and I can't read my own writing when I'm writing. So, because it looks like I'm trying to read.
That sounds very interesting. I will definitely have to check that out.
If you want to do some meditations on that and see what kind of feedback or any topic around it, and we'll get together and share what we got. And then either we'll do a recorded video or a live video discussion. And I know Dean loves these topics too. I thought maybe I'd talk to him about it, see if he wants to get involved. Because I know he's been dealing with some spirit energy at his house. And I see spirits. So he called me a couple times. Well, we were on the phone one night, and his grandfather was lurking in his hallway.
He sent me a picture of it yesterday, and I was like,
it's
a tall man in the corner.
Yeah, that's his grandfather.
Yeah.
He sent it to me. I said, "Oh, Grandpa's back," and I'll tell you privately what else he said because it was hilarious. But yeah.
But yeah, I look forward to doing that. You'll have to let us know, and if you know.
Well, I'll send you guys a list of topics I have, and if anybody has anything you want me to add to this subject style of different dimensions, ghosts, spirits, all that, go ahead and throw them into Kevin's because I don't have a community page yet, or email me or throw them in the chat, and Kevin will be happy to forward them to me. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, of course.
Or
you can comment on the video.
If you can't remember my email address, email them to Kevin. I also have a second email. It's kstafford57@gmail. That may be an easier one. That's one I've always given out publicly. I can check that one. Just put meditation in the subject line, so it pops out, because that way I can just Google search meditation and anything on that email, because that email I get like 2,000 emails a day. It's sort of my junk mail email. It's a really old email, so it's got a lot of stuff. But I can
use the guided light. The guided light one, you probably get a quicker response or notice it more.
Guided light tarot actually pops up on my phone, just like text messages. So, and if you're on my messenger, if you're friends on my messenger, you can messenger me them. If you befriend, if you ask to be a friend on my messenger, if you're using a personal name in Facebook and not your screen name, if I don't recognize it, I won't accept you. So if you do, if you're coming on with your personal name in Facebook and you're wanting to get on my messenger list, just tell me what your screen name is. Put a little message on it, and that way I know who you are, and then I'll go ahead and accept you as a friend. Yeah, but I don't want to get bombarded with messenger. I don't mind once while I still don't have a community page getting that way, but it can be overwhelming when I have 100 people, because I have like 400 or 500 friends in Messenger. I talk to about 100 of them on a regular basis, so it's a little crazy. But
well, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining me tonight, Kathy. I got to get going off of here, but
and sorry,
it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you, and yeah, I know everybody really enjoys, and I really enjoy how connected we are when we read together and all that. But I want to say good night to everybody. Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to both of our channels if you're not already. And we will see you all very soon. Bye.
Thank you all for being here. Bye. Good night.